So here it is, everybody, the final chapter of Fairy Tail 545, and yeah, no, it's finally here. Like, I don't think I have too many other words just to say about that. Is that after 11 years of the series going on, it's finally come to an end, and with the last chapter, let's just see it off with a good old smile and a good old goodbye, because this is going to be one of the last few times that I do this and all that for this series. And yeah, we still got the anime to go back. I know a lot of people, there are going to be people that are disappointed as well. I know some people are on the moon about it as well, but the fact of the matter is that we still got the anime to go on there. So I know for the people that have been really down in the dumps about this and all that, you still got that. And as well, you got some, if anything and all that, I kind of it was the ending that I was expecting for the series and all that, to kind of go out in this note, where it was yeah, this, the eternal adventure, the gang's always good to do. There were some few things I wish that were there and all that, which maybe might be changed in an epilogue or something, but we'll get into it as we talk about the chapter, as we get into 545, the final chapter for Fairy Tail. So it's been over a year now since the entire big Alvarez war. Everyone's gone there, and one of the things, Lucy got her wish. Lucy finally became a writer. She actually started writing the Adventures of Iris by done her, and she actually won an award ceremony, and she's just there we're all doing fine. And the fact of the matter is, it's you see the entire Fairy Tail Guild just fucking just partying, getting drunk, enjoying themselves, and it's just oh god, I'm having a big day right now, and you guys are ruining for me. Please fucking stop. It's oh god, it is absolute chaos right now going for this. And she's one thing that was interesting as she's described, where she's yeah, my book is doing alright, despite not, I'm not rich or anything. I'm just, it did okay, and it's just, it's something I've done from time to time, considering, I'm doing guild work and as well with my other jobs. And the one thing which is still weird is Anna. Anna is just still here, and she's just decided to become a teacher. And I've always thought, after reading the final chapter, I felt very weirded out by that. But it's she's now teaching, and she's now, in a small little village somewhere, just making sure that kids and all that, have the right life. It's weird. It's a goddamn weird relationship. Although, the Gargiel and Letty fans, though, holy shit, did you guys get a big bombshell in this chapter at the end, as Ethan as well, Gargiel and Lucy, what you know and all that about their relationship, what Gargiel and Letty is going through. Lucy even mentioned saying, I'm really envious about them, and she mumbles something to Gargiel. She starts tearing up a little bit, and he goes right, and it's I love that Lucy just went, I think I just heard baby. It's going on there, and it's was that my imagination? And Wendy hears this shit as well. I was oh god, someone with their ears, and probably the more younger age going from this. It's so there you go, you guys, Letty fans, you get a little bit of that, because I know the twins were something for a while and all that was in one of the novels, so you get that going on there. We also as well, we find out what Wendy's doing. She ended up going back with Sherry, she was going training with her, doing her pop idol stuff. A little bit down that she ended up learning how to do magic again. I think that would have been much better that she just kind of learned to adapt with it, go from there. Next thing is a bunch of the characters, to be fair, fucking Sabretooth, what they did is just the most notable thing Sabretooth did was win an eating contest, and I'm yeah, no, that should be Sabretooth. That should totally be Sabretooth. Just there you go, you win something like that. Same thing with Blue Pegasus and Mermaid Hill. They all just do stuff really just random shit, apart from each just being oh, I just got won by a leader of hot guys and all that, and Mermaid Hill decided to become models, and I'm that's it's that's the things that they do, I guess, and all that. If anyone else, I don't think anyone really expected them to come out saying they're going to become legends of the next generation, whilst Fairy Tail is still working. And yeah, one I wanted to at least have happen is Juvia and Gray, and the fact of the matter is as they're dragging them out, and it's oh, what the hell are you thinking, Juvia, she's getting drunk, and and it's just and Gray sees that scar that's still got after that fight with Invel, and he still has it as well, and he's saying yours is different, or you should get healed, your body, and he's your it should belong to me, like that. And it's like, so yeah, like he finally kind of gave his answer, and the fact of the matter is like when do you get it? It's just like, oh god, why is this all happening now? Everyone's finally like getting like hooked up. Like we knew it was for a while as well. Elfman and Evergreen, they were actually hooked up for a while, and now that's just out the window. The one, like, and especially like they showed a lot of like kind of the pairing stuff like around about the end. So the one that I kind of actually found interesting was what he decided to do with Laxus. It's like, yeah, and also I support that one. Like Laxus and like Mira Jane. Oh, is it Lysana? It's like, is it Kana? Like, or it's like, what the hell? Like, yo, what's going on? And it's like, you know, a lot of girls are shipping already, and it's just like, it's just like a whole dumb goofy shit. And it's just like, I honestly think like Hero didn't even really think like about this relationship, but it's like, I think that's something for like the whole like, you know, I think a lot of people have been pushing these characters, especially I think like if it isn't being Laxus and Mira, I think that's the one I thought was gonna happen. It's like, I think it's been Kana. I never once heard Lysana, not once, all that, but it's like, it's something, you know, something could happen maybe, but I think that's just like at the end of the day and all that, I think like Laxus is just gonna be like that. And as well, look, if anything, what we got as well with like as like Urza congratulating Lucy, saying, you know, I'm very proud of you and all that as a fellow guild member. This is something even I couldn't even do. And it was the one even she was worried about when it was like, well, what about Jalal? Like, what about her and Jalal, like, after everything? And ever since, like, Hisui was crowned queen, since, like, you know, like, the king abdicated his throne, he was like, you know, it's time to call it quits. I'm done with this. And while she's been queen, she's actually established a relationship with the Alvarez kingdom, and she's helped, you know, to, like, get them back on their feet as well. And as well, she's abdicated, like, you know, she's, like, kind of, like, all their sins from, like, what we've seen from, like all at Crime Sorcerer to, like, all as well, like, with, like, everyone part, like, you know, like, what we've seen of Cobra and his gang, like that, they're all being kind of, like, taken away. And whether or not that they're going to be, like, now, like, she's saying, like, they're more concerned for the future and all that than they are the past. I'm wondering if that's going to be a chance for them to, like, be like, yeah, now work for the future, you know, you work for me, you're part of, like, the King's Guard or something. I would have liked that, but, like, even though they're free and all that, like it's complicated and all that, like where like is saying where it's like she's like, I know about that, and she's still joking, but however she's like, oh, she still brushes her hair, looks like nice and all that for like him over there. And I'm like, it's something. I think I would have been nice and all that if they actually got together. But then again, that's what a lot of these I feel like have been about. Like a lot of people just wanted their parents, like for the most part, and like even as well, like Makarov being wheeled in, I'm just like, yeah, maybe it's just major. Like I you know, I don't want you there. But one that was, if anything, I want to talk about is the reincarnation, or like just what the fairy tale people saw, like of both Mavis and Zeref. And the fact I say this because people could see, people can see him and they're like losing it. And it's like, what the hell, you know, what the fuck's going on, like that. And it's just saying, oh, you're a publisher, right? Yeah, and I'm for a small company. And it's just like, I'm actually, you know, like a, you know, really short and all that. And it's like, oh, you forgot your shoes, mate. This, and it's like, oh god, I completely. And like the fact that they're called like Arius and Neo, which like it's like, you know, what, like, let's talk about like chat a little bit more and all that. I really want to know about this and all that. So like, and the fact of the matter is, like, no matter, like they're happy in the end on that. So, like, you just see him, like, walking into the distance, and the fact, and, like, I feel like it's never gonna be explained, and it never will, like, for that. I think it's more, like, up to whether or not if it's just the fairy tale people that can see that, whether or not Bandana exists. So, like, people on the, like, far left, which I think was, like, Leon and some of them and all that, were, like, they actually saw them as well. But then again, it's, like, if it wasn't just, like, the fairy tale people seeing, I'd, like, say it's, like, made it public that saw some of these guys as well. So, whether or not, you know, that you think about that, say, like, is that what happened? Did they get reincarnated like that? Like what exactly happened with them and all that? I'm kind of curious to see what you guys think about that. And like even as well, like Lucy's just like, you know, everyone's, you know, like all wrapped up in something warm and all that. Everyone's happy, and the fact is, like, you know, Lucy's like, well, there's, you know, there's my one as well. She's like, let's kind of address this shit with Natsu. And she wakes up in the morning, finds out that she, like, Natsu had to carry her back because she was drunk as anything. And it was just like, come here, cat, let me call you. Oh, I'm getting Natsu in there as well. And she finally, like, after all this time, is just saying, like, after everything that, like, he's done throughout the entire series to, like, you know, help her and all that, he's just like, you know, I never would have met you, I never would have lived any of this and all that, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And what a cock tease, if anything, and all that. It's like, you know, like, hey, you know, Lucy, I've got something I want to say to you. And she's getting ready for it. She's getting ready for it, and Natsu is like, yeah, let's get to work, man. Like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, oh, like, because he's like, you know, I've got something big. Like, I've got something really big and all that, something I wanted to do all this time. What, you know, exactly what Happy and all them said that I wanted to do. And it's like, you know, oh, you know, come on now. Like, and both Gray, Urza, Wendy, like, Charlotte, they're all there, and it's just like, the original crew is like back there, and it's like I've got something out and all that I wanted to do after the fight ended, and so, you know, and I got permission to do it with the rest of you, and it's a 100-year quest, and I'm fired up. Now, the thing is, like, when we talked about this, is that Hiro has talked before about maybe he would like to continue it, like, you know, like he would like to do something more about it, whereas like he expands it. I would have found it more interesting, if anything, like, if, like, where he talks about, like, a new series, like, the next series is actually, like, maybe it could be about, like, Lucy's book. Maybe it's, like, The Adventure of Iris, where it's, like, this is where we get to understand some of the stuff from there. I think that would be kind of interesting on there. And I'm more, like, with the ending of this one, I'm comparing it a lot to Rave Master, where Rave Master was, like, a real big, like, you know, like, it was kind of sad for the most part of the ending, and then the bit, like, at the end and all that, it was, like, a lot more, like, you know, it was a lot more happy, and it was a lot more, like, cherished and all that. And the way how, like, Fairy Tail ended as well, I think he wanted to sign all that. It's like, you know, the eternal adventure, like, that, like, it'll always be there and all that, like, you know, no matter what. And I kind of appreciate that about the ending, like, on there. And I think, like, the people that wanted, like, you know, like, if anything and all that, I think a lot of people was like, oh, I want just all these relationships to happen and everything. And it's like, well, you got them in the end. I feel like you got all of them, like, no matter what, you're happy. So, like, no matter what, like, that's there. And personally and all that, like, how I felt with the final chapter, I think I've seen worse of final chapters. I think the series, like, with everything the series has done and all that, on its highs and its low grounds, no matter what and all that, I still enjoyed it. I feel like to the very end and all that, like, and the fact is, like, you know, like, with everything and all that, like, you see it right at the end and all that, a little fairy and all that, that looks like, you know, like, maybe this is a frame like that, and you just see it, and it's still to the day and all that, you don't, like, with like, it's also as well saying, like, the eternal, like, quest of Fairy Tail, like, the one big true quest that they have, which is, like, do fairies have tails in the end and all that. So, like, I kind of like that, like, the ending where it's like, you know, they're still doing what they do. I do have to add, a lot of the time when it comes to a final chapter, they normally add, like, a little epilogue or something. Like, Raid Master did that as well, like, with the end with the main character. We finally got to see his kid, so I think a lot of people, they're gonna be like, oh, you know what the fuck, I want to see, like, Nashi, where the fuck his name was, like, the kid that people was talking about. You probably still might see it, like, at the very end, it might actually tease something like that. I still think we're gonna get something a little bonus, but back to the Marius and all that, like, it sucked. Like, it only till, like, I heard that the Raw was out did it actually kind of, like, hit me that it was ending on the end. And, like, I still don't think I won't be fully, like, hit me until, like, I'm like 1 week is kind of gone through, and it's like, oh, it's not going to be the same anymore going throughout there. And yeah, I have got other stuff and all that, and I like to point that out as well for, like, a lot of people for the future and all that. A lot of people saying, like, I want to know what to read next. I want to say there are plenty of other series in there. There's other, like, there's even a same series in the same magazine that's, like, in there that's, like, a lot like Fairy Tail and all that, and, like, you know, like Seven Deadly Sins, where it's like it's a magical series, which I highly recommend, like, getting into, and it's like half the length of, like Fairy Tail, and it's just like, I like, no matter what and all that, there's always going to be, I feel like, something for it. And I feel like for a lot of people, this is their one of their first few series that they've read. For me, I've followed this since, like, it's been like 5 years now, like that. It's been like ever since I was, like, in high school, and it's like nuts, like, to even think about that, like. And I really do enjoy the ending, and I just really, if anything and all that, I just wish the series itself could have gone out more on a high note. That's the only general thing I would say about that. But no matter what and all that, I enjoyed it, and I still remember, like, Fairy Tail in a good light, like, no matter what, like. And, like, I like just if anything and all that, just thank people, like, no matter what and all that, for everything, you know, like, going through the series and all that, just, like, leaving comments throughout, like, all the videos and all that. That's always meant a lot to me, like, regardless of what. And it's, yeah, like, I feel like it's something personal like that, where it's like, it's been something that's, like, was one of the main reasons I started my channel in the first place. Like, the first 2 videos I ever did was Fairy Tail and Bleach. and to see both of them end, like, and both of them had problems as well, like, which I won't deny ever. Like, to see them both end is kind of like a page is turned now, where it's like, you know, same thing with like the kind of story itself. It's like that's the footnote, and it's like, you know, to move on and to, you know, widen horizons and stuff like that. And I hope like a lot of fans do that as well. Regardless of what, I'm still going to check out his next work. I'm still going to see like what he has to go into there, like maybe a little bit more optimal like sometimes, but yeah. That's how I personally feel. I still want to do like one last video for Fairy Tail. Like I still want to do kind of like what I did for Bleach. I still want to do like a little kind of like tribute like A&V video but on there. But yeah, I feel pretty comfortable ending that video. I don't know. I don't like. I'm not tearing up, but I feel like I'm getting to that point where it's just I feel really shitty at the moment to go like because it's ending like and then as well I just see it go and all that and like. But overall, as a review and all that, I thought the last chapter was fine, and I feel like if the people and all that want to see what happened to these characters, I think, if anything, a lot of people want to see a more harder time skip, like with Bleach, where it was like 5 or 4 years like later and all that, and see like what happened afterward. Like, I feel like that's what happened, but I feel like this is like how the series would have ended anyways. I feel like I got kind of the whole thing I wanted. If anything, I would have at least appreciated a little bit of the Naruto and Lucy on there, but mainly we might see that and all. If not and all that, like I will be disappointed at that, but overall and all that, I think like the last chapter is good and all that, and I do enjoy it, and yeah, it's gonna hurt like seeing Fairy Tail like disappear and all that. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section down below and all that for you Fairy Tail fans. Know like what you feel, like what you think of the ending and all that, like, and as well what did you think about like just wrapping up the series in general and all that. So that's all for me. Thank you as always. Like, it's been a pleasure, guys, and all that. Like, and I'll see you guys though next time.